How'd you guys like this episode?
It was good. It was good. It's still another setup one. But it's starting to get to it's building, which is good. It's not staying in a place where you're like, okay, I get it. Like it's getting there, and I'm like, all right, because now she's starting to connect with a lot of the older players, and starting to not trust the system and kind of start to trust herself, especially after what Walker said is like, trust
Right.
your gut, and
Yeah.
I feel like that was like the biggest thing because when you're told you can't trust yourself, here's everything you need to know about you. The last thing you want to do is trust your gut. But now you have her saying that's what you do best. So
Right.
I think that's gonna affect her. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good episode. I liked it. I'm curious to see where and how it goes. I like it.
And Brian, what about you?
It's more difficult for me because I've read all the books. I know
Yeah, you know
the
where it's
story
going.
inside and out.
Yeah.
Like I've highlighted things as I was reading the books, and I know where they're going, and I can see what path they're going to get there. It is interesting with Juliet when you start to realize we spent the last 2 seasons really enjoying and understanding who she was, and as an outsider now, we know her better than she knows herself. So now we see this dichotomy of how she's acting versus how she has been acting for the last 2 years. And it's so hard because all I could think about is Cycle 17 and the promises she said and what she said she's going to do. And now she's totally forgotten that.
Yeah.
And it's hard seeing that with Lucas Kyle and knowing what's going on with Luke, all those other things that really matter and us not getting any closer because of what Camille is doing, because Camille is a true villain, but she's doing it for power a little bit, but also for her son too.
Right.
Yeah.
She also thinks it's for like the greater good. She
Mhm.
thinks she's doing the right thing. She doesn't have all of the information that like Bernard had and wasn't misled. She kind of jumped into power and kind of like, if you ask me, like everything she's done has been like a stepping stone to climb to the top. Right? She is very manipulative and conniving. She knew exactly the man that she married, at least his position where he was going. And when she kind of really knew who he was, she was like, all right, you you got this title and you can get me places, but you really ain't got the balls to carry through, but I can. And I'll know where I can like kind of step in. Because Camille's not in the books.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
so to
really?
me,
I didn't know
no,
that.
she's
It's an
not in the
amalgamation
books.
of a couple of characters that they're trying to piece together for this
Yeah.
story specifically.
Yes.
Okay.
And the other part that to me is the most interesting, and Brian, you would know, is the reporter, because she's
100%.
also not part of the books, but it is perfect
Mhm.
considering conspiracy theories, whistleblowers, all the independent media, since we don't trust like the legacy and the legacy and the main media outlets so much anymore as a people. So I love that they're putting in that dynamic. So I'm really curious to see, and I'm assuming because they have to have some type of like love sex thing in this to make it sell, that they're going to obviously have them pair up as like a pair, or at least something happen with them. But she's not in the books at all. The interesting relationship in the book was between brother and sister. So now she's kind of thrown into it, and I kind of really like it. That's to me the most interesting part. I'm like, ooh, how are they going to really play that to really meet what we know here now in 2026?
I like that. I like that.
Bonzo.
I like Camille is like the perfect person. What's a Bonzo? Sorry.
Hey,
Not
Anzo.
good.
Camille's like the perfect person for the computer voice or whoever's in charge to use, because she's like Jen said, manipulative. She very strong-willed. You can control her husband, but also she can be controlled more so than Bernard because of her son. So
Right.
they have that thing over her head the whole time, where Bernard was like no attachments, and then especially once the love of his life kind of figured it out and that was gone, it was just like trying to just like, no, trust us. But with her, it's like, hey, trust us. We're going to look out for you and your son. And if you don't, then so like, she's like the perfect person for them to use, for every aspect. Cause she's a good, bad person, but also has baggage, or not baggage, more has something to lose.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
You can leverage something against her, or Bernard didn't have
exactly.
that. Yeah, exactly.
They're using Camille like they try to use Judge Meadows
Mm-hmm.
the first time.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they're succeeding with Camille. They weren't able to succeed with Judge Meadows because she, because first of all, her and Bernard were in love, and then they had this. She had something in her that she couldn't hold over her because she didn't have any kids. So it changes the dynamic, and they're using the same. They were reading the same script, and they just say, this happens, you do this. This happens, they do this, and it's obvious how they're going about it.
Right.
It's all about the algorithm, right? And if the algorithm shows that, doing this works over and over again, then we can keep doing it. That's why they're talking about doing the reset, because it worked 145 years ago or something like that. Yeah. So
everything is very because everything's very data based, right? Honestly, we were talking about this last night. Everything is very data based and data driven. And when you look at our world today, you can't work for like a McDonald's without looking at customer reviews, the numbers and the status and the quotas. And every single industry that we have is based on numbers, and they use the data. What happened last time? Everything's on a spreadsheet. Everything can be monitored. It can be put into a table. It can be completely read and programmed. And that has now become predictable. And people use those sets of data, and that's exactly what the algorithm said. I've got 352 years of data, right? So they're making all these predictions, these futuristic predictions based on that set data. And that's really what every single person, regardless of whatever college you go to in your field, is training to do right now in our world. So it relates that you would follow the data.
100%. The most valuable thing today is the data that they get from this stuff that they can, market to people and everything like that. Because I'm telling you, I told you guys, we went on the cruise on Saturday. Now all I get on my feed is cruises. That's all I see now is cruises. You know what I mean? So they're marketing, and that's how they do it. And that is very expensive and important right now.
Interesting.
And I was gonna say that even like the show, where they're always watching, everyone's got a phone. It's always listening. Look at all the companies. Microsoft got in trouble for listening with their Connect for their Xbox thing. Sony, Nintendo, all these all the gaming companies got in trouble for it. But
and who
Alexa,
they're collecting data for. They're collecting the data for the government. I don't care what it is or what it is. All the losses they're paying out when we're talking about government budgets and why we're missing money. Just look at all the payouts, period. Payouts, whether we realize it or not, lawsuit settlements. Like, that's the contracts that they have. They were like, hey, we're just going to collect data on people and watch you for like our reasons. Like, they got a kickback, and yes, they're going to benefit off of it. But what do you think is just stored in their hard drives? You don't think other companies are asking for it? They're selling it off. The government's 100. Not tapping into it. 100%.
So they're using the pact though, and then if you give someone a pact, right, and you make them try to follow these laws, now you have a basis to kind of draw your rule book. You don't have to have the same rule book as they have. You have a rule book based on the rule book that you gave them. That's why you get rid of all the other books, get rid of all the other information out there, because you're now telling them what you want them to know, and then you base it off of that.
Don't you find it interesting that they have Billings writing the pact? When he said, you don't think I choke on the irony when he's talking to Paula? And I was like, exactly. I'm like, and you're the perfect patsy for it, because you still feel so committed and so tied to these laws. Of course, you're going to wind up putting most of that shit right the fuck back in.
Yeah.
So I knew you understand. But heard the loud explosion outside. The game was over. Argentina won. Yeah, I got you. How many things are you watching? Yep. So that voice is the doctor.
The voices sound like they change. So I'm glad that you said that, Mama Bear, because I do think that one of the voices was a doctor, but there's another voice that sounds oddly so familiar, like the brother. It's the brother. Disgusting. Yeah. It sounds like the brother. Straight up. It sounds like the brother, and then you hear it sounding like the doctor at one point, and then you hear it sound like a third person. And if you go back and rewatch that scene, there is a third male that's not the doctor, that's watching the reporter in Charlotte while they're, watching them, right? And that's not the same person. So you hear, in my opinion, I hear three different voices. And I'm sure if I go back to season at the end, like when Lucas is talking, that's probably another voice or one of those three, but they're not the same. question, is this going to be an AI thing, an algorithm thing? Are people still alive? What else have they developed in whatever other silo that they're in? I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I can't answer any of those questions because all
you know
that dives way too much into that.
Yeah, I know, and I know that they're changing it, right? Because if you read the books and like I read book 1, right? And I kind of know about the other books and have skimmed through. So, especially a lot of book 2 because I wanted to know about the past, but that's completely in the past. So I definitely like that they're not doing that this season. We're getting both like together because Brian, I know you read the books, so like like it's like 3 chapters of one and then like 1 chapter in another timeline, then like 2 chapters here and then 3 chapters here. It's not balanced.
But they're doing it very quickly. And they're not, it's not as different from the books that you think it is. So what's going on? Daniel, who's the actual
brother,
congressman, congressman, whatever. Yeah, the brother in the book, he has a wife. Okay. They're going to let the reporter Helen become the wife. So it's going to kind of merge. So that stuff is going to happen. But that I could tell you that because that has no bearings on the story. It's just something that you're going to see happen in. It is what it is. So you know that they're going to combine a lot of these characters. Even though there's people that they didn't exist in one, they're going to combine them in another way. So
I liked the call back to the book when she called him Donald.
100%.
That's his name in the book. I was like, oh, there goes the book drop. And it looked like, the whole you're annoying the shit out of me and I barely remember you anyway. Why are you still here? Kind of a thing. So I like how that played in.
Well, like no one calls their sibling by like their full name. You know what I mean? Like so it's like it's also like if it's a callback, that's awesome, but it's also fits with the show where I don't know you. I know you as this name, this Donald, you're not Donnie or Don or, whatever, nickname they got for each other.
It's awesome that they're doing that because that's going to come up later.
Yeah.
So this is, hey, Jen, here's a question for Brian. Since you know the path they're going, do you like the way that they're taking how they're going to get there? I think it's going to be very convoluted. I think there's going to be so much extra stuff that they're doing because they're going this way. So they're basically going to combine half of Dust. They're combining half of 2 books.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they're going to do the other half of the other 2 books the next season. So it's going to be difficult to understand if you read the books. It's not going to be a straight line. And that's why they're going to be bouncing back and forth a lot. And you don't understand why they're doing it because it mirrors you. In the book, you realize, like, I'm reading one book and then I'm reading the other, and you say, that mirrored just like this. Here in the show, they're showing you from the get-go, this mirrors this.
Yeah.
And this is how we got here.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that parallel because not that the book isn't enjoying, but Shift is a long read for it to be in the nowadays. And you almost completely forget about like what Silo is. I never really got through all of Dust. So I don't know the ending of Dust, right? I just know parts of Dust and I know like the majority of Shift. And I read and like really, really know Wool really well. So like watching everything, I know that they've changed some things around, but I kind of like the parallels and how it's showing you. I lost interest and I wish I hadn't. When I found out about Dust, I was just too busy in life. And had I known about it earlier, like when it first came out right after and read it, I would have kept going. Like I would have kept going with it. But Shift, as much as I liked it, it kind of took me out of the whole Silo thing.
You didn't understand why. You didn't understand why they're giving you all this information. Here, you're getting the information. You're understanding why immediately.
Yes, because we see the parallel exactly. And you didn't see that. Like reading Shift, I was like, where the fuck is Julie? Like you didn't get that, right? It was very different.
It was a totally different book. You had no idea why am I reading this? Who is Daniel? Who's Donald? Like, well, who are these people?
Right.
Why am I looking? Because in that book, you're looking, still going past the present, but in a totally different way.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's not consistent. And it's really more about the nowadays, like the way the author wrote it. And it's not a bad read. It just at that time, I kind of was like, all right, there's other things coming out. But now I'm like, I got to go get Dust and read it before the next season comes out because I need to know that ending. And I know that
they merge it all very well.
Right. And I'm curious to see because when the book was originally written way back when, like AI and algorithms weren't even words that they had thought of. They weren't even in like the sci-fi movies yet at the time. So like all this is very new and how they're taking the shift and definitely modernizing it so that we can understand
They
and
did.
fit it. And so I'm really, really interested to see what they're gonna finally reveal to us about the voice and the algorithm and what Lucas Kyle sees, which to me, that I can't wait to find out that because I think that'll be a huge clue to book readers in the direction that they're going with. And I'm sure you guys can know now, but to me, that's like, oh, I gotta know that part.
Yeah, he's my biggest question. Like, cause like I'm so curious because he's the only person that kind of really did everything on his own and got to the point, you know, where he was talking to the door, you know, and I'm like, okay,
No, but
wait,
that's
what
a
happened?
huge. That's a
You know.
huge, really thing you need. But you need to have more of the story. You need to understand more of the story before you get that reveal.
Right.
Yeah. Because
You
even
gotta
at this
know more of the
point,
workings. We're like we haven't even seen like the architecture really, and you don't really understand how the congressman's drill and what he used to do previous as an engineer will come into play yet. You need to understand that story and find out really the whole deal of the, I guess we would call it a conspiracy theory, or really why the planes were flying where they were, and kind of hear it all out, and you'll see it. It'll be very relatable. I'll put it to you that way.
yeah,
1,000%.
So relatable. It's crazy.
For someone that hasn't read the book, I like the fact that we're getting the past and the future or whatever events happening. Like they're doing it the way they're doing it, you know, because like you said, it shows the parallels, right? We're seeing the beginnings of the pill and then we're going into the show and seeing the progression of it and everything like that. So I like the fact that they're doing it like that way. And if they had done maybe a season with just in the past and then went back, I probably don't think I would have felt the same way. So I like the way that.
No, so no, Shift is more. It's still past and present. It just doesn't deal with Juliet.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Still past and present,
right?
But it just doesn't deal with Juliet. It makes you understand how they formed it up, and it's very much talking about the government. So yeah, it's and what they went for, and you still don't know. I can't say that either. All right, yeah, I'm trying not to say anything. So yeah,
it's hard. I tried really hard too, so I get it. I'm just kind of saying like what everybody kind of already knows. We already know that there's obviously multiple silos and somebody designed that, so we'll leave it at that and just leave it at that. But yeah, I like the reporters aspect a lot in this show so far and how they're bringing her into it, and I like that hopefully they will merge it in to become his love interest, like you had mentioned, because I think that's exactly where it's going. But what was I going to say?
Which is really interesting too, because what they do with that love interest really changes everything too.
You think they're gonna stick with that?
Oh yeah, she's
okay. Yeah. We'll talk about it. The girl the nurse lady that discovered, you know, that Juliet's not taking the pill. How do you guys think that's gonna play out? Tank and Enzo.
I personally, I'm not sure yet. Right. Well, we see that at the end of the episode, they're putting the thing in the water, the stuff in the water. So I think it's gonna. I don't know, man, because if I'm like, they got to stop them from putting that in the water, right? So I have a feel
understand that everyone gets the same water supply. It's not like you got bottles of water. Everything's going for the same. And because there's a water purifier, all you have to do is go into that water tank, put the stuff in there, and you close it up, and it's a closed circuit. All the stuff that you get, all that water is going to come back, and they'll just continue to run it, and you'll slowly forget everything. That's kind of what's going on.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, they gotta stop them from getting that in the water. You know what I mean? Because if they get in the water, everybody's gonna have to drink it and everything. So yeah, I'm not sure.
And they already told you they've done this before.
Yeah, with different silos. I think they said 6 different silos. I think it said.
That same silo 140 years ago.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the Orca chick or whatever her name is? I keep saying Orca. It's Aura, I think it is.
Orla
that's missing. You know, that's going to be Billings' storyline. You know, he's obviously going to go looking for her because he doesn't really want to deal with Paula either. Right? How do you think she's going to play into it? Who do you think took her?
I can't say it. I can't say it.
I know.
that I have.
I don't know.
That I have no idea because like we only saw her last episode and then she took off. So
Yeah, she got
like
taken.
I feel like they didn't really set a lot up with her, you know. So I don't know where she really went.
Some of the players are
It's-
not all fleshed
revealed
out yet.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
And
know who all the players are.
And like I said before, I thought it was like, maybe Kennedy or something like that. But then we seen Kennedy in this
Yeah.
episode. It's like, okay, well, it wasn't the outsiders. So who?
The minor father that she got into a fight with is the other
Oh,
possibility
yeah, right.
that show watchers would know that I can actually talk about.
Mhm.
So you saw
Mhm.
that confrontation between the mine, because the head of mines be right because his daughter
Mhm.
was actually the shadow
Mhm.
and she got replaced. So
Mhm.
that could be a possibility, or it could, I mean, we saw Kennedy, but he's got other people that are working for him. So
Yeah,
it's still a possibility that's still on the table. But
Now,
There's
I
also
asked
other
Jen this.
because you don't know about what Robert Sims is still really doing.
yes,
And you
Yes.
got to
Yeah.
understand that he and Camille are not going to always be. We knew that from
Eye to
last
eye.
They're not on the
season.
same
Yes.
page anymore.
They're not on the
Yeah.
same page.
Absolutely.
they're not working
Not
on the
anymore.
same missions either. They're doing like their own separate missions
Yep.
and like just reporting out to each other.
hmm
Yeah.
And it seems like Camille is kind of like manipulating him to trying to get him to do certain things, right? But I
He
asked
knows
Jen
it.
this, like, okay, so he knows already,
He
or
knows
he
he's being
finds out.
manipulated.
Okay,
'Cause
okay.
the voice told him, "You must leave."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
At the end of
can't-
season 2.
He knows what's going on. So there's other things going to happen within that relationship. Just saying.
Yeah, I didn't
I-
think he knew yet. I know we're not talking about for right now. I think that he hasn't figured it out yet. He thinks Camille's still telling him everything that's going on, and he still feels like, all right, I might not have gotten chosen, but at least she's filling me in. So I didn't think the way the show is showing us that he knows yet
I
that
don't know if
he's still not on the in.
but
I don't know.
he-
What do you think, Brian? Do you think
he
that
already
thinks Camille's
knows
filling
that
him in?
she doesn't tell him everything because she didn't tell him everything
Mhm.
last time. So I think that they already understand this within their relationship that
Okay.
not everything's being told.
Yeah.
So-
And
But
even
do
the
you
way he
think-
was around her last episode. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
she told him something and he didn't treat it like a wife and husband kind of figure. He treated it more like this is what Bernard used to do kind of thing. You know, it's like more of a boss kind of thing. Like he didn't give her that look. He gave her that look like this is transactional. Like we're not together.
And I could see that, but I always wonder, like, okay, so not knowing the truth, but does he know like she's trying to manipulate him, or does she think he's just not telling her everything? You know what I
He
mean?
feels like he's on the outside, just like Bernard kept him on the outside.
Okay.
And nice feeling
Yeah.
that with his wife, but they already had that relationship where now everything was being told. It was him on the other side, not telling her. So now he understands what's going on, and he's going to figure it all out.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Because at
one-
least with Bernard, he was promised. He's like, everything I'm not telling you, you'll learn one day. You know, you're next in line. You're gonna learn the secrets. But now he knows he's never gonna learn the secrets. Like, because like he was there in the room and the computer was like, get out.
Get
you know,
out.
so it's like
He's the new
So
Judge
it's like,
Meadows.
you never, he's never gonna get it. He knows he's never gonna get it. So but now he understands. He's like, Bernard kept things from me because he had to, and now you're gonna keep things from me because you have to, but also you're my wife and you shouldn't. So there's that's gonna come into play.
Also,
And
the
they're
fact that
gonna
once
they're gonna
again,
bump
he
heads
got-
so hard
He got stepped over again.
again.
Mhm.
This is like the third time.
But yeah,
Now, a question I asked Jen last night, I'll ask you guys this too, right? The cop that said, "Oh, Juliet, I'm on your side, let me worry about Camille." I asked Jen, I said, do you think that was Camille using him to try and get Julie to trust, right? Because we already know that the algorithm said, we need Julie to trust you completely. I think Camille knows that Julie's not going to trust her. So use the cop to be like, yeah, don't worry, I'm on your side. You can trust me. And he's going back and reporting to Camille.
Mm-hmm.
No.
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see. You're worse than me. I said that's a really good possibility, and I left it at that. You're so much
It's
more
funny 'cause-
harsh than I was.
Because he asked this question right at the perfect time, because what we just talked about, that there's going to be, two
Yes.
different players doing things, right?
Right.
So why is he saying this? Who is using him as a pawn? That's what we're going to be figuring out.
Right.
There's other players out there.
So that's what I'm saying. So he is being used as a pawn. It's just not by Camille.
Sorry.
We'll see the next 2 episodes.
I do like the pacing of it, by the way. I have to say, I
Yeah.
really, really love the pacing of the way the season is going. It's kind of reminding me a lot of season 1. There's a lot kind of happening. It's not being drawn out. I felt like season 2 things were dragged out, and I know we had to see it, but I'm like, it could have had a quicker pace, in my opinion. But I kind of really like so far. We've started off with a really great first episode and now a second episode, and I kind of like the pacing. And I think it works because they're doing the parallel. I think if they would have just like Enzo said, done 1 at a time and gone 5 seasons, it would have just stretched. In between season 2 and season 3, they would have lost people. So I really like that they're doing this parallel this way, and they kind of shortened it down to 4 seasons only. I think that works kind of well, because last season, not that it wasn't good, but it kind of dragged in the beginning, middle area of it, and then picked
You're
up.
going back from silo to silo, and it was hard.
Yeah.
And it was hard.
Storylines.
Yeah. I think when we did the breakdowns, we all had a problem with that, right? The two, they were like, we're spending so much time on this silo, but like, let's get back to the other one, find out what's going on there. And then they kept doing it. So I like the balance in this one better. And I know we all don't need to be spoon fed, but some people do. Right. And the way they're doing it, they're kind of spoon feeding people, let them know where the connections are right away. So they're not like, oh, this is confusing. What's going on? Right. So I kind of like that, too, as well.
It's still confusing. All right. Let me read some of these comments real quick so we can catch it up a little bit. Ace says most villains always think they're doing it for the greater good when they're mostly doing it for their good. 100%. That's the American way.
But that's a good villain, though, right? And I'll say this because I know we talk about Thanos, but even though a lot of people are like, oh, Thanos
was right,
to him it was good. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it made sense to him. So if you can and Killmonger too as well, right? If you can kind of relate to what they're saying, then it kind of makes them a good villain too. Even though they may be doing the wrong way, you can kind of relate to what they're saying. You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%. Let's help the black people in America and send all the weapons from Wakanda over there. I agree with that 100%.
All right, let's see. Jeez, how you doing? Glad you're here. Camille was close to Judge Meadows. She knows something is trying to get into a position to save her family. She's doing more than that. The computer voice is the doctor. The computer voice can never mind.
So I thought the computer voice was somebody else. Like it was one or two or a handful of people in like silo 1 or in silo 0 or whoever's in charge of all the silos. After this episode, I'm thinking it's more AI now. It's more like they're past that, and they're doing AI kind of stuff, you know. And I know so it's just because exactly what like Jen had said earlier, it's all these numbers and stats and algorithms and stuff like that. Like this episode, well, now especially the last 2 episodes, I think we've got the most time with the computer, you know. So now hearing it talk and hearing its thought process with things, I was like, oh no, you think like a computer, not a person. So yeah,
because it's based on numbers and it's all about the data, right? Especially because it brought up that graph at the very end and showed like the line graph. Very computerist, but obviously they got their voice from somewhere, right?
Someone is speaking at something.
Right.
This is somebody, not just a computer overall. This is not Terminator. I'll
yes,
tell you that.
I will say that. If they're going the route I'm thinking, it's not like Terminator.
So Mama Bear and hey, glad you're here. I agree. I looked at one naughty cruise couple crews YouTube channel, and you won't believe what they've been sending to me. Gotta be careful what you look up, man. Oh man, go incognito.
Facts.
Word.
I followed one channel, and it was like I followed 20 of all of them saying the same thing that they keep on sending me. Yeah. I understand.
Yeah,
we gotta be careful when we do stuff. That's why we keep Spoiler Kings primary on one thing, because if not,
Mm-hmm.
all type of stuff.
Yeah.
What up, Terrence? So it makes me wonder what kind of person it could be, because when someone is talking, it's very important to listen and find out who's alive or dead.
Terrence is funny.
The books are definitely interesting. I must find a copy I left behind at the store.
I like that.
Bear says, I just started watching, but I've seen the actor enough to recognize him.
I done missed the whole damn show again.
It's going to be a lot of people. Yeah, you did, she. Come on. You know, we watched it, did the whole watch party, and you're not even here, man. Come on. I love what they call back to the book. Makes me want to read it in 24 hours. Brian, is interesting how the lines will curve because that's how the show mirrors the books, but leaves a lot to interpretation. They're going to change things. So I'll say this, in the book, guys, it was very much less technology.
Yes.
Very much like plug and play. Like, you know, imagine having an operator. And what you did, the operator had an operator board, and you'll plug and play when you want to talk to people. It was like over the phone, that type of way, voice changing, that stuff. But they're going to use AI in this situation, so things are going to be different.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was going to ask you. The nanobites, the nanotechnology, were those in the book?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes. That was in the book, which was cool. That's what made it like such a sci-fi thing to begin with. Like there was other elements, but that was another huge element of the sci-fi of it. But again, the word algorithm was not really a word yet, and artificial intelligence wasn't really a thing yet, so they didn't use those words. And I know a lot of
computer.
People,
they said we have a chart. Follow the chart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was much more analog. It's probably the easiest way to say it. They weren't so
100%.
digital with the technology. It was much more analog.
So that's what the audiobooks are for. I'm waiting to get my hands on the 2 other books now. Yes, you need to.
You definitely need to read the other 2. I'm going to go back and reread, because I know Will really well, but I'm going to go back and reread Shift, and I definitely need to read Dust.
Shift, you have to get past the first 10 chapters. Then you start to understand what that's going on.
That's funny that you said that. I think I got around like chapter 11 or 12 and then never picked it back up. That's funny.
Once you past it, all the stuff kind of like lines up and you're like, oh, this way you're doing this. Yeah. It's all that. So Brian, it was different. The book was different. That's why I'm so confused at the bookstore. Of course, I know. Use Audible. A lot will come into play when we find out the deals that are made behind the scenes. Perhaps they will relate. It's funny you're saying this because things will relate.
Yes, they all will intersect, especially if the story is going to keep into that. They're going to follow that same framed narrative, obviously, in pattern, because they're adapting a book. They're going to take some of their own creative liberties, obviously, to kind of update and modernize things and kind of merge some characters together to kind of get through it a little quicker, because we only have 4 seasons. Exactly. But I do think they're going to keep pretty true to the frame narrative, at least, right? At least the bone structure of what's going on. And
you have to do it as many times.
Timeless.
So they're in and out of a lot of things multiple times, and they won't do that in the season. So you can save a lot of time with that. Brian Tank, Brother Anzo, and Human Gen.
Have you never seen me?
Terrence is stopping by. The humans require my presence, so Terrence can't stay long.
Oh.
Appreciate you, T.
Thank you for coming by.
Oh, a woman not telling everything? How rare. You mean they'll have nothing to bring up in 3 years from now? You're on your own with that, bro.
No.
Go ahead, Anto. I can't hear you.
I said, I'm a second you, Tubi. I'm a second you, Tube. All right, I'll do it. I'm a second you on that one.
Not I. Not at all. He was pulling me away. You know, that.
Humans.
That's all Terrence. Okay,
that's
no
Terrence thing. Yeah.
We need the light beings, the star seeds.
Oh my god.
Terrence actually said he's gonna join us for Dead City, so he'll be on for that.
He's been doing it, so yeah.
Yeah.
So Akeem made Joker seem like a relatable bad guy. Old McData wants your AI farm.
Yeah.
Whatever. He says, Diversity Saturday. This is Diversity Saturday.
Wow.
Just know I'm Puerto Rican. I look white. That's why my husband married me for my credit score, but I'm really 100% Puerto Rican. You should just know that. My husband's Jamaican. He says that all the time. He's like, look at her. She looks white. Her name is Jennifer. Obviously, I married her for her credit score, but she's Puerto Rican and cooks good food.
And I am Canadian, as you guys know, so I don't conform to the American side of the black part. All right, I am Canadian.
And we all know black is black is black. Don't listen to this man.
Like, you know, racism in Canada, is that just a US thing?
Yeah,
Oh
right.
no, it's here. Trust me, just not as bad.
I actually got books banned from the town library. They were matchbooks.
Really?
Fucking play my Grindr username. Wow. Wow. I've been banned by this comment. Yeah, you know, usually would be, but it's after dark. We're good.
Yeah.
Shit. He said, okay, I love her. Yep. Jen is awesome. Identifies a meatball. So very diverse.
You gotta find something that melts in the mouth better than a meatball. Come on, bro. We're after dark. We're after dark. Just saying.
Yeah, I just turned my camera off for a second so I don't say nothing.
I was about to say, like, that one just was too easy to not.
You know what I mean?
To help myself. Thank you, Ted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was just too easy. We're all thinking something.
Okay.
I will, Mama Bear. I'll be good. Don't worry.
Hanzo says, well, shit. Okay. Are they going to allow Juliet to not take that medicine? Or are they going to do what Tank suggested? He said they're going to sneak it in something else.
They already control all her food, right? Coming in. So yeah, they'll find a different way to put it in there.
100%. Now the question is, what does Julie do to counter that? Right? Because I think she's good. Well, she don't know that they know yet. And yeah, but I think she's going to be a little bit more, on point with things going on around her, because it doesn't seem like she trusts. So what does she do to counteract what they're going to do? That's the question I asked.
The more she becomes herself again, the more she's going to be able to figure out how to get around it. And she's going to realize the game that's being played. And she's going to play it because she played it better than everyone else in season 1.
Right.
She did the same thing season 2. So,
well, now she knows the truth, So at least most of the truth.
They gave her power.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yep. That's the same thing I said yesterday. I was like, that was a smart move on their part for the moment, right? To give her power in order to calm the silo down and kind of re-narrate everything and how it's going to be. But they actually manipulated everybody in that whole thing. Like, don't talk to her. She lost her memory. And they kind of already knew they were going with that. But it's going to backfire because now she's mayor. And we kind of saw that once when she was talking with, oh my God, why can't I think of his name? Shirley's boyfriend. Oh my God, the guy that's in mechanical that does all the engineering. When she was like, Knox, thank you.
Yeah.
When I want to know why I want to say Hank, thank you. When she was like, why do I need permission to go down there? I'm the mayor. I have security. I can go down there if I want. So already see, without her forgetting, she's already starting to be like the curious, questioning Juliet that we kind of know. And that's just part of her personality. That's the part that the algorithm was trying to say. Like, that's just part of who she is. It doesn't matter how much you try to rewrite her memories. That's still she's always going to question like something, whether it's about authority or question rules. She's always going to question things. That's just part of who she is. That kind of personality doesn't get brainwashed easily. They're the divergent ones that always will break free of those chains. They just naturally do. That is their gift from wherever you want to call it, but that is their gift. And that's the 10%. And that's what Juliet's a part of. And it makes me wonder if she's not wonder, but I think a lot of the show wonders want to know if she's actually related to Charlie or to Daniel, right? Because they have this, or they're part of the 10%. Was she related to Salvatore Quinn and that whole thing? Like, how are bloodlines?
Now
related
you're
to
cooking.
this?
Now you're cooking.
I'm trying not to reveal anything too.
I will say Walker. So they've changed the races of a couple of characters.
Yes.
Okay? Walker was a man in the book. Okay. We haven't seen who's the head of a lot of other stuff that's going on outside. They've changed the guy who was a guy there to a female. So they've done a few things that are going to change, and it's going to balance out a lot of stuff, and that allows them to change some of the narratives. It's going to allow them to do special things with the TV show that they couldn't do with the book. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting, the relationships that they develop. And all of a sudden, what's going to happen, you're going to get a lot of stuff happening as like in the next 3 episodes.
Yeah. If they're doing it the way, the things should start to kind of happen in both timelines kind of quickly. That's why I said I really like the pacing of this season. It reminds me of season 1 because it's very like people start figuring things out. They start making plans. Things start happening. Other people start moving things because they don't want to wait on certain things. That's part of, everything that kind of goes into play here. And the timing, we'll see. I think the timing is going to be important that we see in the parallels. I think that they're going to really hit certain themes really hard when we see those parallels. And I think it'll actually make sense for people that lost that connection in the books between reading them so far apart and reading them singly. So here we're going to see that parallel, which we were talking about earlier. And I think it's going to really smack and make those themes hit hard.
I'm not going to say anything. Just say, yeah.
8 episodes this season or 10?
I believe it's only
8.
8.
Eight?
I think they're only
Okay.
8, right?
And if it's only 8,
I think I did read that somewhere. I think it's only 8.
then you will have a lot in the next 3. A lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
No, it says
But I mean,
10.
Oh, there's 10 episodes. There's 10.
I'm
10
saying
episodes?
Yeah.
IMDb says
Okay.
it's 10.
Yeah.
Final episode September 4th. Ooh, this will carry us through the summer. That just got exciting.
that's good. 10 episodes, so that's good.
Dude, it's no such thing as 10 episodes anymore, except for right here. There's so much going to happen still.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna be it's literally it's gonna give you so much. We're gonna have to spend some time decoding, and you guys are gonna have to ask questions. As long as you ask me the question, I can answer it.
Well, here, I got
That's
a
how we're
question
gonna play.
since both of you guys read the book. Since it's taken book 2 and 3 and kind of, playing them at the same time, right, because of the parallels, is there a good spot where in the middle of the book or each book where they can have a satisfying season ending and not just like a
100%.
cliffhanger?
Okay. Yes.
100%.
Because that's what I was worried, because like
I'm not
season
sure
1 and
if
2 were the
that's
first book, and I wasn't sure, like, because that felt very like, oh, I didn't know season 1 and 2 were the same book, because the way they ended it felt like it was a good season ending and a good, second season. They felt like 2 different stories, 2 different books. So that's one thing I'm always worried about, is when they decide to take one book, and here they're taking 2, but they're running it together. So there has to be a good spot in the middle to break it.
Perfect. There's a very good spot.
That's good to know.
And it has everything to do with Lucas. Has everything to do with Lucas.
Yeah.
Yep. I was gonna say there's a really good spot, and I know in Shift that they can obviously make the cliffhanger, and it'll be great. I'm not so sure with Dusk because I didn't read that one, but there's a couple parts. Now that I think about it, there's 2 good moments that they could cut it at. So we'll see what they're doing. I think we're gonna get to the second one, and Brian, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Because
I think they'll get to the second one as a cliffhanger. The way the season paced so far,
it's going to end, and you're going to see. I can't say that. You're going to see it. It's a perfect place for it to
good
happen.
ending,
right?
And then the season 4 will be all about what happens now.
Right.
Yeah.
And you'll get a lot of answers. This is not from, guys. This will not be from. You will know what the hell's going on. These next 8 episodes, you will be like, oh, okay, now what? because it's
Right.
chess.
Yeah.
This is not like mystery box stuff. This is about you make a move, I make a move. You make a move,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
make a move. So now
Mhm.
what's the answer?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
because I
exactly
mean,
what it
season
is.
1 and 2 was so good at that. Like it ended right when she was about to go out, or where she did technically I could go out, So that's where it ended, and then it just felt like that's where the book would end, right? But like the book then, no, it keeps going. It's like, no, this is everything else, So like that was a
This is
good
more
spot
detail.
for a season to end,
There's more detail in the books, and that's just what you will get from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's good
I'm
enough.
Yeah. I mean, I know I was screaming when they were showing when she finally got went into the storage room and she was with Kennedy, Sandy, and whatever that other guy's name was, the gingerhead guy.
Mm.
And they were
Mhm.
sitting there and they showed her the helmet and she had the flashback, but she didn't see Solo's face and didn't see
Yeah.
Hope or anybody there. And that part was killing me, absolutely killing me. But there was another part that I told Enzo yesterday. Do you remember the part? I can't remember who was wearing red. That I was like,
Oh.
there was a character that was wearing red, and I was like, that's just like Juliet. Oh, Shirley.
Shirley, yeah.
Yeah, the way that
Mm.
Shirley's
Mm.
wearing the suits, just like the same fire suit that she came back from 17 in.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting, that parallel, because to me, the most frustrating thing is Shirley so far. I mean, I it's frustrating because that's a hard personality for me to understand. Period. Because I'm
Mm.
like, you're wasting time. Like, if they matter so
Yeah.
much to you, swallow your shit and go talk to them. And the fact that she can't it just frustrates me. But there's definitely something more that's
Yeah.
going to come with that. And I like how they showed the parallel in the colors. And if you might not have caught that, but that was something that I was like, okay, good. If people are looking for colors and are really dissecting the show, even though there's source material about it, it's starting to set things up. Even if it doesn't show you the setup yet, they're giving you slow symbols.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
that's what
even the
I asked.
doctor said that. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, because that's what I asked too. I'm like, how did they get everybody in the silo not to really talk to Julie about things that happen, right? Like, what was the deal that they made to be like, oh, this is what we're gonna do, and this is So
No, that's easy though. She is thought as the hero of the silo, right? She did this stuff. Everyone, there was a civil war going on, right? Like the stairs were blowing up, so they all look up to her as this symbol of more than. So they all agreed for it because getting her back gives them hope for the outside. And that's why they're going to say, for the good of her, she doesn't remember, we're not going to bring it up until she's ready.
Yeah. Because even Knox brought it up, even Walker brought it up, where Knox was like, oh, I don't want to overload you. And then when Walker was like, oh, are you too fragile? You can't handle being around people and hearing the stories from your past. So they kind of put the blame on that person. Like, oh, you could mess her up even more. Because if they do it, and she starts to remember, and they have to force her to forget even more, and she gets more messed up, you can either see, Knox told her too much. It's on him, So then it's kind of blaming.
But the ignorance is a control factor because they don't know anything about the brain. They haven't studied that far ahead, so that ignorance is definitely a control
because
factor.
they stole all the books.
Yeah, but it's also funny. It's funny that you say that too, right? Because that information probably had to have come from Camille, Simmons, or one of them, and it doesn't seem like they would have trusted them enough to be like, oh, okay, so because they say we shouldn't do, we should do it, right? So it feels like there's a little bit more to it as to why they agreed to that. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like there's a little bit more to it.
You have to also realize that they are there because someone allows them to be there.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. They don't have to bargain with them. At any point in time, they could say, you no longer exist.
Yeah. But also, I mean, all these guys, because now Simmons is out here saying Bernard was the problem. He lied to me too, So Bernard's literally the scapegoat. So for Knox and all of them, they're like, oh, Bernard was the bad guy. He was the one causing all the problems. So, and even though Simmons was a problem, or Simmons, but yeah, they know, so they're able to take advantage of it, and that's why she kept saying, she goes, oh, I don't blame anybody except for Bernard. It's like she
Right.
came in there right at the end, like, oh, don't forget that, he's the bad guy, so there's a lot of that going on too. So
you're 100% right. So there's going to be more character development for Paul Billings. There's going to be more character development for Robert Sims.
Mhm.
There's going to be a lot more with Lucas. Once you have those 4 in place, you will understand what game you're playing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Lucas is my number one. I want to know, because as he started finding out stuff, that's when I got super interested in him. Billings is super interesting just because how dedicated he was, and then the wall came down, and his world just like he literally had that, that's literally what happened to him as soon as he saw that picture, the magazine or whatever. So he's questioning everything, and you even see it on his face, man. The actor is doing a great job as doing the I don't want to be here. He's very much the Marshawn Lynch is I don't want to say anything. I don't want to get fined. He's just there
And Camille notices it too, because she asks him more questions in that thing than anybody else, right? Because she's trying to get him involved and engaged and making sure he's sticking to his job, and she can tell that he doesn't give a shit anymore, because he's I kind of know the truth, and I don't even know what to think anymore.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we have a lot more information to see. So a lot more things we're going to break down going into next week. I might even pop in for half an hour early next week just to kind of remind you guys about what's happening before we go see episode 3. But yeah, no, guys, if you're watching this and you're watching this a little bit later, let us know what you think. Are there questions you guys have that you want us to answer? Or if you ask me the right thing, maybe I can release a little bit of stuff. So ask the right question and we can start talking about, having a discussion about other things. But yeah, no, I appreciate you guys coming in. Jen, thank you for coming in.
Yes, thank you guys.
This is what you see, Jen, all the comments and all stuff. This is it. Anzo. Come on, I don't know what I can't say any more words for Anzo. So it is what it is.
Anzo.
Yeah, because I don't want to hear the words you're gonna say anyway. So let's just keep it at that, right? I know you, Brian. You act like, oh yeah, I got nothing so good to say with Anzo. And no, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, though, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
All right, guys. So this has been great. Can't wait. I'm gonna talk to you offline, and I'll tell you a few things. So, but everyone else, guys, comment, subscribe, and join us next Saturday. We'll be doing the watch party and having a discussion right afterwards. Appreciate everybody. We'll see you later.
Bye.
The board has concluded the call.